The Bell Witch Haunting, one of America's most terrifying ghost stories. In the early 19th century, the Bell family lived on a farm near Adams, Tennessee. John Bell, his wife Lucy, and their 5 children, Susan, Betsy, John Jr., Richard, and William, were your typical rural family trying to make an honest living off the land. That all changed one night when strange things began to happen in their home. It started subtly, like most hauntings do, with strange knocking on walls, chains dragging across the floor, and the sound of heavy footsteps. Their livestock began acting violently and unnaturally, shaking their heads until they injured themselves. At first, the Bells tried to ignore it. These sounds and events continued to intensify, however, and soon objects were being thrown about the house and the family began hearing disembodied voices. The spirits spoke to them directly, sometimes in whispers and sometimes in loud, clear tones. They sang songs, they recited scripture, and they told stories, but most of the time they hurled insults at John Bell. They called him a liar, a backstabber, and a cheat, and they taunted him mercilessly. And always they told him that he would die a horrible death. Lucy Bell and the children were not safe from the torment either. They were scratched, pinched, and otherwise assaulted while working around the house. And on occasion, they were physically lifted off the ground and thrown across rooms. In extreme cases, the spirits paralyzed them, leaving them unable to move or speak. Clearly, this was no ordinary haunting. Whatever evil presence had taken up residence in the Bells' home was malicious and violent, and it seemed to delight in making their lives a misery. Word of the haunting quickly spread beyond the family, attracting the attention of neighbors, preachers, doctors, lawyers, and curious travelers. People came from all over to witness the phenomena for themselves, and many claimed to have seen the apparition of a strange, gaunt woman dragging herself closer and closer to the bed of the dying man. Some said they saw this ghastly specter through the window, and others said they actually entered the house. But whatever the case, the mysterious visitor was always cloaked in shadow, and so no one could ever get a good look at her face. Those who were close enough, however, claimed to hear her voice, and it was a horrifying sound. It could growl and snarl like a wild animal, screech and moan like a banshee, and suddenly change to the voice of a beautiful woman singing sweetly. It was also a highly intelligent voice. It could converse with those who dared speak to it, asking questions and answering those who inquired about its identity. The spirit always refused to give a name, but it did claim to be an old friend of the family, someone who had been wronged by John Bell in life and was now exacting her revenge. Over time, the entity became known as the Bell Witch. She was said to be able to possess people, forcing them to growl, snarl, and foam at the mouth like a wild animal possessed. This was especially terrifying to the Bells, as they believed the witch was slowly transferring her hate and anger onto John, poisoning his mind and causing him to act out of character. As the witch grew more bold, entering rooms and interacting with family members, John Bell became increasingly paranoid and unstable. He began to see enemies everywhere, and he lashed out at anyone he thought was spying on him. His normally jovial and friendly demeanor turned dark and sinister, and he became a shadow of his former self. By 1820, John Bell's health had completely deteriorated and he fell violently ill. The entire community came to witness his death, which they believed would be a spectacular and horrifying display of the power of the Bell Witch, and as if on cue, the witch appeared before him and cackled loudly, announcing that she was there to collect on the debt that John owed her and that he would die. Shortly thereafter, John Bell was no more. As you can imagine, the Bell Witch didn't stop there. She went on to terrorize the family for years, even after John's death. Eventually, the Bells were forced to abandon their home and flee to another town, but the witch followed them, continuing to torment them until Lucy and the children died. Only then did the haunting finally end. While there are many skeptics, most Bell descendants and historians believe the haunting was very real and that the witch was the vengeful spirit of a woman named Kate Batts. According to local lore, Kate was a servant girl who worked for the Bell family in the early 1800s. When she became pregnant, presumably by John Bell, he cruelly threw her out of the house and she died soon after. Enraged by her unjust dismissal, Kate supposedly placed a curse on the Bell family, dooming them to a life of misery and torment. Today, the Bell Witch Cave, located near the original Bell Farm, is a popular destination for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. Many claim to have experienced residual activity while visiting the cave, including hearing disembodied voices, feeling sudden drops in temperature, and witnessing strange lights and shadows. Whether these stories are true or not, the legend of the bell witch continues to grow and the tale has become a staple of American folklore. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more historical hauntings.